Hi, this is Lisa DeMonte with MyLegal.com. It's Friday, June the 11th, and we're here in Washington, D.C. for the annual conference of the National Association of Women Business Owners. With me this afternoon is our guest, Lena West, who's the Chief Strategist from xynoMedia. Lena is a social media strategist, and she just finished a presentation which was well received here at the Ronald Reagan Building. Lena, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. Lena, let's start with some simple definitions. There seems to be really some confusion, I guess, or misunderstandings about the difference between social media and social networking. What do you think the difference is?
Social media, if you think of social networking as a subset of social media, so social media describes all of the tools of which social networking is one. So social media encompasses blogs, podcasts, social networking tools like Twitter and Facebook. So social media is kind of the bigger picture, and social networking describes the kind of interactive tools that we use to communicate, like Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Excellent. Thanks for clarifying that for us.
You're welcome.
Lena, you gave us this morning about 11 different strategies for success in social media.
Right.
Can you summarize some of the key points if you were to have a client that visited you and said, I'm so confused, I don't know where to begin? What 3 things would you suggest that they do to get started?
The first thing I would say is to make sure that you understand why you want to use social media. That's really, really important. You really shouldn't be using social media if you think, well, everybody else is doing it, we're getting left out, or the competition is using it, or my children think I should use it, or any of that. You should really be using social media for a business-driven reason. So really get clear about your why you're using social media. The second thing is, be where your market is. And in order to do that, you have to ask your clients and potential clients, where are you hanging out online? Are you on Facebook? Are you using it for business? Are you on Twitter? Are you using it for business? And just make sure that you understand where your market is so that you don't waste time and resources being someplace and using services that you really are not going to have an impact and you're not going to get much of a response. The third thing is pay attention to your content and make sure that your content is actionable. Some people think, especially when they launch a blog, that they have to write a whole bunch, or if they have a podcast, they've got to have this very long, involved podcast. It's not about the length, it's about the quality. So the average blog post is between 250 and 350 words, so keep it brief, make sure it's relevant, and make sure it's actionable, and you'll win.
Wow, great advice, Lena. Tell us if you're in a market where many of your clients are using all of those social media tools. Let's say that you have a group that's using Twitter, another group that's using Facebook, and all of them are using LinkedIn. What advice would you give to a business owner who was faced with that challenge?
The first question I would ask is, how many resources do you have to devote to social media? Because the ideal thing is to be where your market is, and so that may mean being on LinkedIn, being on Twitter, and being on Facebook. However, if you don't have resources to devote to that, if you don't have someone on your team that can share responsibilities, the social media responsibilities with you, then you've got to look at where are we going to get the most bang for our buck, so to speak. So where's the majority of your market? Where do you feel the most comfortable as a business being, and then do that. And then as your team expands and as your company grows, you can add more resources so that you can cover all of your social media and social networking bases.
Lena, one other quick thing that you mentioned in your presentation today, which was very well received, of course, and that is reciprocity. Tell us what you mean by reciprocity. I think that advice was just spectacular.
Thank you. I created this saying called the reciprocity rule. And it's a total ripoff of the golden rule. And it's do for other people what you want them to do for you. So many times clients come to me and they say, I'm not getting any comments on my blog. And I say, well, are you commenting on anybody else's blog? They'll say, I'm not getting anybody responding to me on Twitter. I've been using Twitter for such a long time. I'm not getting any responses. And I'm saying, well, who are you talking to on Twitter? So you have to do for other people what you want them to do for you. And what this does is it shows that you're a sharer and you're not just someone who wants to take, but you're willing to share the visibility that your blog may happen to get and highlight them. But what it also does is it kind of develops a relationship with that person that you happen to be talking to or writing about on your blog, and it makes them want to do the same thing for you. And the third thing that it does is it starts a conversation. People are using social media sometimes in a one-way. We call that broadcasting, and that's not the best way to use social media, just putting the word out. It's about also listening and receiving and having a two-way, sometimes a three-way conversation using social media tools.
Great advice, Lena. And for those of our viewers who may wish to reach out to you and perhaps get some advice, what's the best